want to go over there and I'm going to take you with me. And in your night visions, in your sleep, your soul begins to give you a brochure of what this life is about. And it begins to stir you and disturb you, because this disturbance is coming from within. It's your soul giving you a brochure. It's your soul giving you a brochure saying, go here. And when your soul gives you the beautiful brochure, it makes sure you begin to hate everything you see. All of a sudden, you're getting sick of what you're looking at. And it takes the taste out of your mouth from within. When you're pregnant, the pregnancy always changes the diet of the one that's holding the baby. When you're pregnant, the baby within will always change the taste of the one that's carrying the seed. And so when you have a vision, it changes your taste for life and comfortability and where you're going. And you know, and it will always lead you to the place where it wants to be delivered. The vision will always lead you to the lifestyle that it wants to experience so it can deliver itself. This comes from within and not without. And so when you discover this beautiful place, you begin to let go of the weights and the issues. You let go of the things that keep you from living in the comfortability of the brochure. You begin to let it go. You begin to let it go. Nobody have to tell you need to let that go. You let it go yourself. You forget about it. You stop picking it up. The laying aside of the weight and the issues that easily beset us is only comprehensible to people who've discovered a beautiful life and a beautiful vision. You just can't hear it and do it. You have to be pregnant and do it. Pregnant and do it, because there is something that's convincing you. And it'll tell you to let go. You won't just hold it in your hand. You'll let go without anybody telling you. You can let go of your weights and sins by just letting it go, because the virtue is more beautiful than what's in your hand. And so that's what happens. We're busy teaching people what they're supposed to do without them seeing the beauty within, living from the God consciousness. That's right. And when you live from it, when you become aware of it, you discover that you can't live without it. I'm not going to hold you long. You discover that you can't live without it. See, when you have something that's beautiful, it becomes all you have. And when it's all you have, it dictates the pace of your living. You can't afford not to believe. You see, Bridget and myself, we did these things not because we were super incredible. It was because we could not afford unbelief. When I was mentored, I felt like wealth when I was in his presence, because it felt like money, because I couldn't afford not to listen to him. When Wilson Douglas was mentoring me years ago, I felt like it was money. I felt like I couldn't afford not to listen. When Miles Monroe mentored me and I had to write for him, I felt like I couldn't afford not to listen. When you really know the beauty of life, you will hear words that's connected to the seed within, and you find yourself saying, I can't afford not to listen. When you can afford to be lazy, you won't really move into your purpose. Comfort zones are dangerous because it gives you an affordability not to be urgent. You know what I'm talking about, Jeremy. You see, when I know that I can't afford to just sit here because this is all I have, when the vision and the beauty is all you have, it makes your pace different. You're not just living casual, Yvette. You're not just living like whenever, because you know I need this. When you feel you could not afford not to listen, that's right, Bridget, you know what I'm talking about. But when you feel you could afford not to move on it today, your listening and the frequency is going to be dull, because you could afford not to listen. Comfort zones fix you in a place where you can afford not to get up. I don't have to get up today. And it makes you casual. I'll do it this weekend. But when you have a vision, I must do it today. And those of you who have vision, and it creates this frequency that says, I must have it today. When you speak, people are going to hear the intensity of the moment. But when you can afford not to know it, and you speak, people won't feel the impartational vibration. They won't feel the urgency of the moment because we don't need it, you don't need it. So when you talk, nobody needs it. When you talk, that's right, there is no anointing, Sister Carter. There is no power with it. There is no glory or intensity or divine consciousness on it because we don't need it, so you don't need it. See, whatever you need, people will feel it when you speak it. Whatever you don't need, they won't feel it when you speak it. Raise your hand if you understand what I'm saying. When you let go of the weight and see the beauty of your life, Daryl, it'll put an attraction in your voice. It will put it in you because I need it now. See, some people can take you and some people can't. See, I'm an intentional person, not because of my personality. It's because everything Bridget and I learned, we couldn't afford not to learn it. We couldn't afford not to believe it. I had to believe it because it was all I had. It was all I had, and I needed it. And then if you need it and talk to people who don't need it, you're going to feel a different vibration because they're like, what's up with you? Don't be so serious. It is not a matter that you're so serious. You can't afford not to believe. You can fix your life. Look, let me put it this way. I can only speak from my experience. If my wife and I stop believing in what we're doing, we'll lose everything we have. So I have to follow the instruction. I want to. Because if I don't, I lose. But some of you, what would be the consequence if you don't listen today? Some of you will still go to work tomorrow. That's not a consequence. If you don't listen to what I'm saying, you still got a job tomorrow. If you don't listen to what I'm saying, you still can get food for the family. If you don't listen to what I'm saying, you still get paid a bill. So there's no urgency. What will you lose if you don't listen? How do you know the value of belief? How do you know the value of power? What will you lose if you don't listen? What will shift if you don't listen? See, those of us who've seen the beauty of life, who've seen the brochure, those of us who've seen it, we must. It's not a matter we got to, we go to hell. Hell has nothing to do with it. I wasn't created for hell, so I don't live my life to miss hell. I don't think about it. I don't live my life to go to heaven. I live my life because I was designed to live it this way. There is no motivation that's causing me to live it. I'm living it because it's what God thought, and I'm confident being a thought of God. I'm not living it to negotiate between heaven or hell. If your life with God is based on a negotiation between heaven or hell, believe me, you are not alive. If your life with God is motivated on missing hell so you can go to heaven, you haven't woke up yet. You have to live based on this is the thought that he had. He didn't have eternities in mind when he created me. He had you in mind. He didn't have where you're going to spend it in mind when he created you. So you have to live the motivation of the Divine Father. How many of you are living? How many of you are living God's motivation when he created you? How many of you are living what motivated him to make you? See, fulfillment comes when you live the motivation of God. Fulfillment comes not when you get a new car or house or experience an orgasm or sexual whatever. No, it comes when you live the motivation of God. When you live what God thought when he made you. When you live it, 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 when you do it, it cuts something on. That's the brochure. That's the brochure. And I know that if we don't believe it, we're going to lose everything. Yes, we're going to lose everything. It's like I'll lose it. It's not, you understand, because everything we have is because of it. It's the brochure. But if you could afford to be lazy, you'll never see the fulfillment. I don't have to do it today. No, when it's beautiful and it's pleasurable, let's go get it. How many of you feeling like that right now? Let's go do it. Let's go get the thing. Let's go teach, teacher. Well, you already know what's up. You already know what's up. Let's go get this thing. Let's do it. Let's go get it. That's how you lay aside weight and sin. You already lay it aside. Nobody have to tell you to do it. When you see the beauty, you already let go of the poverty. When you see the beauty, you already let go of the poverty. You let go of the poverty thought, the poverty habit, the poverty excuse, the poverty procrastination. When you see something beautiful, you go ahead and do it. You go ahead and do it. When it's pleasurable to your life, you go get it. Nobody have to tell you to let go of an old mind. You let it go. You're only dealing with an old mind because you haven't seen the beauty of your life. You're only dealing consistently with old thinking and old habits and old paradigms because you haven't seen the beauty of your life. Your life haven't revealed its own picture show to you. You heard somebody else's picture show and you wanted to buy a ticket to somebody else's picture show. But your own life never revealed your own movie, and you never bought a ticket to your own picture show. How many of you have bought your own ticket to your own picture show? You got to buy your ticket to your own movie in your show. You have to buy it. I bought my ticket to my own movie in myself because God is within you. And he speaks what's in you before you were ever born. Before you were born, he put a movie in you and you remember it. That's why we call it deja vu, because we've seen it before. And you say, man, I've seen this before. How many of you know what I'm talking about? You've seen it before. You said, my God, I've seen this before. Wait a minute, I've seen this before. It's because God let you live before you lived. You were alive before you lived, and then he put the film clip in your womb, and then when you walk in certain seasons, the movie trips and you begin to see the thing go. You say, God, I've been here before. He's showing you a movie in your own soul. So buy the ticket. But we were before time. Give me 5, man. Give me 5. Patrick, give me 5. You understand? Listen. It was in you before you got here. You got to buy the ticket to your own show. You can't buy the ticket to mine because you don't know where he put the film clip. So you're trying to live my movie. You can't live my movie. You got to live your own movie. You got to live your own stuff. You got to live your own flow. And you got to have the confidence to be in your own movie. It's only you. And I'm going to tell you something. He didn't put the devil in your movie. God didn't put the devil in your movie. It's your old thoughts, what you're holding on to. When you hold on to the old mind and the old thoughts, it creates the enemy and it puts it in your mind. And you think you got an illegal person living in your movie. But it's your thoughts that are illegal living in your own movie. And you can change your thoughts. And that's why he said, renew your mind. Don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And when you renew your mind, you renew your movie. You change your movie when you renew your mind and your paradigm, and you get that shift going. Oh, we're going to do one, man. We're going to do one. That's what's going to happen. You got to understand it. No devil, no demon in your movie. If you want to have a devil, you can have one. I choose not to have one in mine. That's the warfare? No, I choose not to have a Satan in my world. That's just it. I don't have one. And if you want one, you can have one. But I don't need to be in your movie. I don't need to be in it. I don't have a Satan in mine. And I don't have all of that in mine. God gave me the authority to make my script. And so I made it. You can let go. You can let go. I don't know how much of this you're going to believe. I don't care. Because I'm not talking for you to believe me. I believe me. And there's a vibe. When you believe your movie, there is a vibration that comes. And it lets everybody know the difference between you and them. It lets you know the difference. It lets you know, it creates that vibration that says, wow, that dude is living in another world and still going to Walmart. Yeah, I live in another world and still go to the store. Yeah, I live in another world and I still get the stickers on my car. I live in another world and I still pay the house note. I live in another world and I still got children. I live in another world and I still eat tacos. I live in another world and I still watch HBO. I live in another world and I still watch ESPN. And I still play Xbox. But I live in another vibration. I live in another world. I live in another heaven, a new world, a new zone, a new consciousness. Go ahead and buy the ticket to your movie. When you let go, there is an urgency. There are some of us who were not casual. I still play 2K. Used to play NBA Live, but I don't like what they done with the thing. When you are urgent with your life, casual people won't comprehend you. It's not a matter of you got another spirit. No, I'm urgent.